Hello and welcome. I am so excited to be here with you today. I'm sorry for the little delay. I had some difficulties joining today, but I am glad you're here with me as I will be talking about a very important topic. And hopefully, that session today will enlighten you a little bit and teach you a lot more that you would want to know about love and love relationship. So, I recently finished this book, which is called The Five Love Languages. And I really couldn't go about without just sharing this. I had to make sure that everybody hears that. I wish I knew about this 20 years ago down the road. This is one of the things that I'm just absolutely happy that I came across, and I would love to share that knowledge with all of you here today. So let me just start by sharing my screen. And as I mentioned already, I am welcoming you again here for today, and we are going to explore the concept of the five love languages, which is a framework that can help us improve our relationship and by better understanding how we give and also receive love. And this is important. This is the book by Gary Chapman. Whether you read it or not, I would give you just a brief explanation and the important highlights of the book. And whether you have a love relationship or not, really irrelevant. I think it's the relationships as a whole that require the understanding of the other person. Yes, it helps tremendously for a love relationship. Married couple, I know that a lot of examples in the book we're talking about specifically marriage, but I think you can really apply this for a lot of different places in life. So first, I want to introduce to the love languages. The five love languages were introduced by Dr. Gary Chapman in his 1992 book. And I think, if I remember correctly, he's not even a psychologist, he's an anthropologist, but his knowledge was so incredible in how he introduced that love topic. So this framework helps us understand how we express love to others and how we feel loved in return. A lot of times we treat others, and that's good if we do, the way we want to be treated. However, the other person may not understand that this is exactly how you want to be treated and perceive that as something that it may not be something that they want to receive. And I'll expand on that in a little bit. So by understanding our own love language and those of the people that we care about, we can build stronger, so much more fulfilling relationship. Dr. Gary Chapman starts his book by explaining how relationships start. And the very first thing he was describing is, how is it that when we are in love, when we feel in love towards someone, we don't see those red lights and the things that everybody else sees? How many of us had relationships that everyone around us told us this is not the right person for you, or can't you see that this is what the person is? And we don't see that. It's because when we are falling in love, we have this blindfold over our eyes, and it takes roughly 2 years to unfold that blindfold. And usually relationships after 2 years, you start wondering, how did I even fall in love with that person? How did I not see those little things? And the reason that actually happens is because when you are in love, you have all those emotions that are filling your emotional bucket, as he refers to. That emotional bucket is full at the beginning stages of the relationship, but as this emotional bucket becomes emptier and emptier because you're not getting the actual love that you are expecting from your partner, that's when you start unfolding different things and understanding different things in a different way, and maybe not even being happy in a relationship. So I want to talk about these five love languages. Definitely one of these books. This is one of those books that there's so much to learn, and I will try to give you that knowledge as much as I can. So the first love language is words of affirmation. And people with this love language feel mostly loved when they hear verbal expressions of affection and appreciation. Compliments, kind words, verbal encouragements are really essential for these people that speak that word of affirmation language. So for instance, saying I love you or you did a great job can mean the world to someone who has his primary love language in words of affirmation. Those who speak this language feel most connected to their partners or their others, or the other people that appreciate them after hearing a few kind words. So in this case, words do matter. A person who speaks this language of affirmation connects deeply to their partner with words. And this love language is all about recognition. If you have a partner who thrives on words of affirmation, they don't necessarily want to be showered with compliments so much as they want to hear just the thank you, or they want to hear that appreciation word of I appreciate you when they wake up early to walk the dog or doing simple chores. These acknowledgments are how your partner knows for certain that you see the value they bring into their relationship. So when I talk about the different languages, we refer to, or Dr. Gary refers to this as a primary language. Some of us might have secondary and other things that we want to have in a relationship, but for your emotional bucket to be completely full, someone who speaks word of affirmation language would be absolutely delightful by just a simple appreciation of thank you, or just a simple word like you look really nice today, or I really appreciate dinner that you've made tonight, or anything that just affirms the appreciation. The second word, second language of love is quality time. This is when you have individuals that have this love language, nothing says I love you more than undivided attention. This means putting aside all distractions, engaging in meaningful conversations, and spending time together. It's not just about the activity, but about being present and engaging with the other person. If your partner or loved ones identifies with this love language, carving time out or carving out time to spend with only them is really what they're looking for. But it's about more than just sitting next to each other on the couch watching a movie, right? Many times we're sitting next to each other, but you're busy on the phone. That's not quality time. Many times individuals feel as though they spend countless hours with their partner and they don't understand why their partner is still unsatisfied. Quality time is about having your partner full, focused, undivided attention, meaning detaching of any distractions during a date night, or if you decide to do a breakfast time and you eating breakfast together, you're not watching the news or you're not having the TV on. This is really like leave your phone on do not disturb, right? Don't flip through channels on the TV. Don't tell them about how your day was. Be present for your partner. Be present for the person that you're setting this time for, because that means you're asking your partner how they feel now, that this stressful week they've mentioned over. So that means you're just listening to what they're talking and you're asking them back. You actively listening when they respond. You're not trying to give them suggestions or giving your advice on what to do. You're just simply being there for them, and you want to show them that you care and you're listening. So quality time is really time without distractions, without kids around, without phones, without TV, without newspaper, nothing. It's just the undivided quality time. And that would fill the emotional bucket for a person that craves that to be absolutely thriving in a relationship. The next language is receiving gifts. That's the third love language. And this isn't about materialism. It's more about thoughtfulness and effort behind the gift. For example, one rose. You know how those of you that have children may relate to this. If your child comes home with a couple of flowers that they took from the garden, how happy are you? you're very happy and you know they didn't spend money for it. It's really not about the money that's spent, but rather the attention and the thoughtfulness, the fact that the person thought about you and had an effort behind that gift. Refer that back to a partner. For some, receiving a meaningful present, no matter how small, can be powerful expression of love. It really shows that you are thinking of them and that you care enough to give something special. Um, despite of despite the name, this love language isn't reserved for greediness, right? So many perceive this language as materialistic when that isn't really care for some people. But through gifts, you are able to say, you are on my mind and in my heart, even when we are apart. So it's really not about greediness. It's not about how much you spend on a gift. It's really the thought that counts. So we're not talking about diamond necklaces because that's not the requirement here. When you're talking this love language, it's simple as just picking up flowers on the way home or getting an extra something on an ice cream that you're getting. Anything that is really showing a thoughtfulness and not necessarily the amount of money that is spent on it. And I want to stress this over and over because the demonstration here in this language of love is the thought that this is an essential ingredient for that person who speak this love language. They want to know that they've been thought of, and that person that they're with, whether romantic relationship or just regular friendship, just want to feel that they are important in the life of the other person. So they don't need anything special, but they want to have these tokens, right? Or something that basically shows appreciation, love, and thoughtfulness. So it's not to say that it's impossible for this love language to be driven more by materialistic motives. Some really do have that, but based on its meaning, the materialism is not the message here. The love language of receiving gifts is that you feel most loved when you have tangible objects in your hands that has been given to you by the one you love. Okay, so the love language of receiving gifts is the thoughtfulness of the gift that you are receiving, not necessarily how big the gift is. The fourth love language is the act of service. For these individuals, actions speak louder than words. And I can relate to this so much because as an individual, I love giving to others and I love doing things for others. But reading this book, I actually realized that maybe that's why. Maybe my love language is actually act of service. I don't need gifts. Well, everybody likes gifts. It would be nice to get one, but this is not necessarily showing love to me. Act of service is when you're doing simple tasks like doing the dishes or cooking a meal or helping with errands, can be so profound way to show love. It's about making the other person's life easier and showing that you really care through your actions. And again, I can say for myself, when I do that for others, and I try to do this for my partner in life, for my husband, for my kids, that was really because I wanted to ease on them. But one thing I've realized reading this book, maybe that was not the other person's language, right? So it's very important to identify your love language first. So anyone with act of service as their love language, actions speak louder than words. For people with this love language, if you can resonate with that, words and gifts might seem empty. It's not enough that what they say that they will do. What proves more important in a partner is putting forth the effort to make life a little easier and a little sweeter. Cooking a meal, running an errand without actually being asked. Remember to take care of the small details in life in the way that shows their beloved that they are seen and loved. doing things that you anticipate your partner wants or needs to demonstrate how much you value and care for them. So one thing that I can again resonate with myself, because I was really thinking a lot, what of these would have been my personal love language? And I remembered a little situation where, here where I live, we have the garbage pickup on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And a long time ago, I've mentioned that for my son. And one day, I wake up in the morning and I know that it's a garbage day, but I had no time to take the garbage out. And I left because I had to leave early. But when I came back home, I saw that the garbage truck have picked up the garbage, which meant that my son took the garbage out. That was so much more appreciated than anything else, because I knew that he remembered that it's a garbage day. And that is what I mean by act of service. It's something little that you know that the other person would appreciate. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, it's really not only about love relationship. It goes way beyond love relationship. It's the things for the people that you love. It could be your friends, it could be your family members, it could be your children, it could be your spouse, it could be your boyfriend, it could be anyone in your life that you know that you're doing something that would be perceived by them as love from you. And that is so profound for some people. So it seems easy to assume what this actually means. This love language, there's another love language that I'll touch on, but this love language doesn't require you to do anything difficult. Doesn't require you to do something that is planned for. It could be as simple as taking the garbage because you know that it's important for your partner. The last love language is physical touch. And for those who speak this language, physical expressions of love are crucial. This can be hugs, kisses, holding hands, or any form of physical closeness. It's a powerful way to convey affection and connection. While it's easy to assume what this actually means, the love language of physical touch is not just about sex. It's in fact more of explanation that you identify with the understanding that the physical touch is important. Those individuals that speak this language do feel most connected when they are being touched by their partner, their family member. Often a partner who values physical touch would like long, lingering hug or cuddling, just, cuddling under the blankets for a certain amount of time to show affection and to show love. That's a little bit different than quality time, because there's different expression here. So do you ask yourself, do you always want to hold your partner's hand when you're walking? Do you always want to snuggle with them or be close to them? Do you feel loved more strongly when they are by your side? And if that resonates with you, then this is your language. So I think knowing these 5 languages and going through these 5 languages should really be important to all of you to be able to identify specifically your language first. To enhance our relationships, it's really important that we identify our own language first. And of course, the language of our people around you. Reflect on what makes you feel most loved and appreciated. And you can also take the official love language quiz that's available online. There is an official love language quiz. You can just Google that and it would tell you what your language, love language is. I actually didn't do it. Maybe I should do it because I think I know what my love language is, but it's definitely highly recommended for all of you to do this. Think about your past experiences and what has made you feel truly valued. Now that you know what each of these 5 languages entail, it's time to figure out what yours is. And the odds are most, if not all, of the languages contain something that resonates with you. But when it comes to selecting just one, focus on which aspect you find to be most important to you. It's centered around thinking about what you have appreciated the most when your current or past partners try to do something nice to you. What makes you feel most loved and which behaviors did not mean so much to you. Like if you get a gift, and you can notice that actually in your partners as well. There are some partners when you give them a gift, it looks like they're not happy with the gift, not because they're not happy with what you selected, but because it doesn't actually resonate with them as a love language. And that happens. And take a look around you, see if there are any people that you know that hasn't really expressed appreciation when you gave them a gift, but they were so much appreciating when you gave them a compliment, for example. So these are the things that you're looking for. Another way to hone in your love language is by going over your principles. Values are ideal. These are ideals that we want to stand by in our life and what we want to represent to others. Like I said, when I realized that my love language might be act of service, that's when I realized that maybe that's why I was doing it. I was doing a lot for the partner and seeing the lack of appreciation of him with the things that I've done. Now, looking back, I can say, well, because probably his language wasn't that. He didn't need that act of service, but instead he needed the compliments. He needed the words of praise. And I'm just talking about myself, but you can definitely relate to those different things. So if you find that your value is integrity, you might be the person who cares more about words of affirmation because a person's word is like a gold to you. And you can understand that a lot more than getting the gifts from them. So really take the time and identify what your love language is. And once you've done this, apply those love languages in a relationship. When you understand love language, it's just really the first step. And to truly benefit, we need to apply this knowledge in our daily lives. Communicate openly with your loved ones about your love language. Nobody would know this unless you tell them that this is what you like or this is how you understand that a person loves you. Communicate openly, make an effort to express love in a way that resonates with your loved ones. Understand what their love language is and be mindful of their needs. If your need is act of service, but their need is words of affirmation, understand that this is their language. It doesn't have to be the same language you speak, but now that you know that this is their language, you have a lot more ability to fill their emotional bucket with what they love, with what they understand love is and what they perceive that you are loving based on doing that. If you're single, use your newfound knowledge to strengthen your connections with your loved ones. It can also be guided when you're looking for a partner. If you are in a relationship, once you have a sense of your own love language and you know what it is, make moves to learn about your partner's love language. And don't shy away from straight up asking them what would make them happy. What would be the thing that your partner is looking for in love? Keep in mind that no matter how comparable you are, you and your partner may have different love languages. Understanding how each other or each of you needs to be loved and cared for can go a long way in strengthening your relationship. And a common mistake that many people make is to show love to their partner in the way that they themselves would like to be loved, or to assume that because their loved one shows love with gifts, that they would want to receive gifts in return. In fact, they might prefer spending time together. So, as with anything else, that requires you to look within yourself, learn and explore your love language, and that would provide you with better insights of yourself and what you need for those that are with love with you. So, in conclusion, the five love languages provide a powerful framework for understanding and improving our relationships. When you recognize and honor the love language for those that you care about, you can foster a much deeper connection and more meaningful interactions. And I hope that this have given you a lot of information about what the five languages are. And I really do encourage you to look for your language and also understand your partner or your loved ones. This is one of those books that I think everyone should gift anyone who is in relationship. And like I said at the beginning of today, I wish I read this 20 years ago at the beginning of my relationship life. That would have been probably a lot easier to deal with certain things and understand the other person, not necessarily in the way that you understand yourself. And when you understand what you are craving for, you can actually talk openly and express that to your partner or your loved ones and make sure they know what you are looking for in a relationship in terms of the love language. So I really do appreciate you all joining here today. And I want you to take some time and ask me questions, comment below if you have any comments. And please share this video, share it with those people that you know might be benefiting from this. I think everyone will benefit from this knowledge. And if you are a reader like myself, grab this book, take it. I know it comes with a workbook as well. I found that in Barnes and Nobles, which kind of guides you through the process of finding your love language and guides you on how you can express that love language with your partner in life. So I really do appreciate your time. I hope this gave you a lot of insights. I am here to answer any questions that you might have. And until our educational journey crosses again, always remember that learning is a gateway for a bright future. So as you probably understood from this lesson today, this month I'll be focusing on love and relationships. And so next week we'll talk about the communication in relationship. And the book I'm currently reading for one of my book clubs is the relationship cure. And these are the 5 steps that you would use to cure your relationships. Yes, relationships can be cured, but it is work that has to be done on both ends. So guys, see you again next Monday at 2:30. Appreciate your attendance today. Have a good week. Bye.